Hottest record.
And please welcome Damon Albarn. Everyone make some noise in the studio. Damon, welcome to Radio 1's new music show.
Thank you very much.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Nice to be asked back onto Radio 1. I think the first time I came on Radio 1 was in 1990.
And still, you're an important piece of the puzzle, sir. That's why we've got you back with a brand new track from Gorillaz, The Happy Dictator, featuring Sparks tonight. But yeah. Damon, if there's one thing that people need to know before we press play on it, what is it?
It comes from an album that is entitled The Mountain, and it's in 5 languages. And not the song, but the album.
And what languages are featured?
English, Hindi, Arabic, Spanish, and Yoruba.
Wow. Where's Yoruba?
Nigeria.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to dive into. Huge news off the bat from Gorillaz tonight as Radio 1's hottest record, though. This is from the record, The Happy Dictator, featuring Sparks.
Radio 1.
Hottest record. So, Damon, 5 languages on here. Did this album take you to lots of different places?
Took me, yeah. I mean, that tune finds its origins in a trip I took a few years ago with my daughter to Turkmenistan.
Wow. So how do you find yourself going to Turkmenistan with your daughter?
We started doing this sort of thing where we go to countries that not necessarily anyone would think of visiting. And it started when she was like 18, I think, 18. We went to North Korea. Anyway, so now we do this thing where we go off. So Turkmenistan was last year's country essential destination for us. And the thing about Turkmenistan is they had a dictator. And, you know, the word dictator is quite a loose, generic and sort of description of someone who kind of likes everything his own way. So it's got very current kind of sort of references within it, this song. But the point of The Happy Dictator is that Turkmenbashi wanted everyone in Turkmenistan to only think happy thoughts and sleep unaffected by the sort of the doom of the world and just keep everything upbeat. So he kind of banned all bad news, no more bad news. And that really struck me when I was there. I was very inspired by that. Kind of slightly terrifying, sort of half terrifying and half, well, actually it'd be really nice if I lived in a world where there was no more bad news.
That's quite one of the big lyrics on the track that I caught on.
There's a degree of satire.
Yeah.
But it I don't know, it's one of those things that sort of, you can imagine people singing back at you and it being quite a joyful experience, even though the origins of it are quite sinister and dark.
Everything is slowing down, yet everything is faster was another one that kind of struck me. What was your thinking there?
Well, our sort of reliance on resources that diminish, soil that every time it regenerates kind of loses essential nutrients in it, all our plastic that ends up in the oceans that is killing the ocean. But everything gets faster in the sense that we become more consumer driven. And I heard today, even though I'm really quite sort of slow on these things, is that there's some new ear things.
AirPods, yeah.
AirPods.
Yeah.
See that shows you.
So I had to think as well.
I do live in the countryside. My friends are seals.
Seals are having AirPods soon.
But the translate. And I was telling my daughter, actually, because we come back on the train, I was telling her about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because that's when the concept of putting something in your ear that could sort of miraculously make you understand every language in the universe came from. So be careful, mankind, what you imagine.
Absolutely. Do you find like you having to take yourself to more extreme places to find the creativity at all?
I'm just as excited by Southend.
Really?
To be honest with you. the thing I'm drawing on is probably darker in Southend than it would be in the Himalayas, but you never know.
True. You got to go to experience.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talk us through the kind of want to include all the different languages on this record, and was that more just to kind of honour the places that you'd been, or how did it all materialise?
Oh no! I mean, we spent quite a lot of time in India with this record. I suppose it's leaning into Indian culture, but I wouldn't say it's an exclusively Indian record. But we have worked with some amazing musicians from India. And singers, but also an amazing young rapper called Trena from Argentina. Sparks.
Yep.
A lot of amazingly talented people.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Gorillaz next year, though. The first time Gorillaz have ever stepped into a stadium, Damon.
Well, it's a stadium. I'm not really looking at the Tottenham Hotspur aspect of it, being a Chelsea fan.
Naturally. Did you try and push back against that? Did you suggest other stadiums?
We're going there because it's an amazing place, you know, and I definitely prefer to play there than Stamford Bridge.
What?
But I don't mean that in a football context.
Yes, well, you'd like to play at Stamford Bridge.
Just to qualify that.
Yeah. Does it change anything, live-wise, how you perform or anything like that? Have you already started to think about, how the staging looks and what you want to put across there?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of sort of almost those things I sort of thought about while we're making something. It's so important and so interrelated.
Finally, with such an immense list of collaborators on this record and collaborators you've worked with previously, what is the importance of working with others when it comes to being creative? Can you explain that for people? I sort of feel like perhaps we're kind of existing in a time where...
Well, I was talking with this with Fatu.
Music making is very singular.
I was talking about this with Fatu, actually, last few days, because... with her, it's a very long relationship, and so we feel very comfortable when we're playing together. But sometimes I've never met somebody. It's my first session with them, and I suppose you just learn to kind of make everyone feel comfortable, and then hopefully translate the kind of joy of making music and the joy of the process. I mean, if the joy is there, it always turns out, and I always let people basically do what they want to do anyway, and work around that afterwards. I mean, like, for example, I didn't get a huge amount out of Sean Ryder back in the day, but we had number one, so...
You got enough.
I got... Exactly. Sometimes a very little is quite enough, thank you.
I think I sort of feel like the conclusion of our conversation is that melody is really the universal language.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And if you can... Put in 5 languages is quite ambitious on one record, but I don't think it feels like it's a barrier to enjoying it, because you kind of understand where everyone's coming from within those languages. And anyway, just put those ear things in and you better understand it. No, I think yet again I've probably I've sort of invested in the future.
Yeah, you absolutely have. Classic Gorillaz. Damon, thank you so much for hanging out.
My
Wonderful
pleasure.
as always. Make some noise for Damon Albarn in the studio, please, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Damon, it's been a pleasure, and when it's Hottest Record, we play it twice. This is Gorillaz and the
No more
Happy
bad
Dictator
news, remember
featuring
that.
Sparks.
Radio 1.
Hottest record.